Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Now, lately I've been reading up on Airbnb. I'm sure if you travel quite a lot, you know what Airbnb it is. And quite frankly, I don't really believe that Airbnb will continue on existing in the near future, maybe like 10, 20 years from now. And my reasons are right below. Now, Airbnb, when they IPO'd, they were a company that IPO'd at around $139. Okay. And from there, because they did so during the pandemic, their prices went up in terms of their stock price, sorry. And many people thought it would continue going on and on and on. Now, the Fed has came in with some interest rate increases. And because of that, capital is more expensive. So it's not easy to get as much investor money as possible as they were able to do before, especially during the pandemic with lower interest rates. Now, with that said, there are also a myriad of other reasons. A second reason is noise complaints. Because a lot of people go onto Airbnb and put the house up for short term rentals, you got people who are just traveling anywhere and everywhere. And since it's really a cosmopolitan audience and market, you get a slew of characters that just decide whatever they want to do at any particular time. So you might have someone that would play music at 2 o'clock in the morning as loud as possibly can, and that can interfere pretty badly with other people's sleep schedules, especially people who have been renting at a particular house or a particular apartment for months or even, let's say, years. Okay. I'm sure if you're trying to, sleep and make a living, you don't want to have a roommate or someone by you that's continuously partying. And that's the case in terms of Airbnb. Now, a third reason, and this is a really popular reason, is the hotel lobby. The hotels, of course, they're in competition with Airbnb. And since Airbnb makes it really easy by just, going on your app and booking a place, that takes a lot of revenue and profit from hotels. However, as of right now, it is kind of looking good for hotels, which I will explain later on in the video as another reason. Fourth is population growth. Okay. Now, our economy, with all its wealth, because wealth at the end of the day is based upon trade and commerce, is dictated by having a continuous population growth to sustain the infrastructure and the services goods being produced. Now, if you have a decline in your population, then it's even going to be harder for you to come in and make more money. And even with Airbnb, I personally don't believe they've reached their zenith in terms of, their market dominance. However, if they do reach their market dominance, they're going to have to pivot. Why? Because they're a publicly traded company and you're always going to have to make profit quarter to quarter to quarter to quarter. And if your company is based upon hospitality, then that's going to prove an issue, which goes back down to, how should I say, my fifth reason on why Airbnb might become bankrupt is because of its services and hospitality, which goes back into the third reason, the hotel lobby. Lately, you have seen a lot of people come up and say that Airbnb owners have been telling guests on what to do and what not to do, as well as finding, hidden cameras and telling the guests to meet them at a certain time to get a key, etc. Now, if you know anything about the hospitality industry, it's based upon the fact that you have to feel comfortable as the employee. Sorry, not as the employee, but as the guest and client. If you are not comfortable, that will prove a problem to the hospitality business because they're not exactly doing their job. Now, what's easier? Number one, you have a hotel as an established brand, and they even offer amenities and incentives that allow you to get in there in the first place, such as free breakfast or even free dinner. A lot of Airbnbs, they're not established because it's just an open market of people, offering a room every now and then. And if you, as an individual, can't offer that room at a quality price, then people are just not going to meet with you. In fact, a lot of people don't even know you in the first place. So they may be even hesitant to come in and sleep in your domicile. Okay. There's a problem where a lot of people want to, create businesses around the quote unquote sharing economy. And people need to understand that not everyone could be Uber. See, it's one thing to share a car with somebody else, is another thing to come in, sleep, take a shower, and eat at someone else's abode, someone else's house. Okay? Two completely different things. And for that reasoning, I do believe, based upon the service and hospitality that Airbnb gives, is going to continue on with its decline. All right. Now, what's the next reason? Sixth reason: building of houses. Although Airbnb is not a real estate company, it's really a hospitality company. It is still based on the fact that people need to own their houses to rent out. And if you got fewer people purchasing houses, okay, especially with the high cost of capital, you are not going to have as many customers on your platform. In fact, it's even more difficult because if you look at Uber, all you need for Uber is a car. Car could cost between and I'm talking about a good car, about $5,000-$6,000 and up. Well, if you're trying to rent out or put your, apartment, house, etc. on Airbnb, well, you got to actually own that house and apartment, and that could be way over, 50K. Okay, unless you just have that house gifted to you by your parents or inheritance, etc. Right? If there aren't any houses, there's not really much for you to do with, trying to make a profit out of. And this goes back down to the next reason, which is, I believe, the seventh reason, and that is scalability. As I said before, with Uber and other ride sharing apps like Lyft, etc., you just need a car. So your scalability is really based upon, how many people can have a car and use that to make some money. Well, not that many people have houses. And not only do not that many people have houses, they don't have houses that they're willing to rent out. And even if they can't rent it out, are they good quality? Can they, have incentives that can compete with hotels, etc. Right? And once again, this is all in terms of dealing with a for-profit, publicly exchange stock company such as Airbnb. And if Airbnb isn't capable of making money from this particular arena, they're going to have to make a pivot. A good example is Peloton. Peloton is basically in the dumpster right now. It was a really easy play. You know, if you were getting some calls, then you did some puts. Um, it's just not a good company, right? And seeing as though that Airbnb is trying to make more money by hurting their clientele, they're probably not going to last too long in the future. I could be wrong, but that's just basically my analysis. If you agree with me, disagree with me, leave your comment below. And that's all I got to say. You take care. Bye.